Hello everyone, Giltar here with an update on my channel and just a bit of a sort of catch-up session for everyone who has and still subscribed to my channel here. I want to thank you all for continuing to pay attention to my channel and staying on as a subscriber. It really does mean a lot to me. I also want to apologize for the lack of content on my channel over the last couple of months. Work life and personal life, they've both been taking top priority, and it's a good thing. It's not a bad kind of busy. In fact, it's a good kind of busy, and I just wish I had more time that I could devote towards things like my YouTube channel here. Something I've been doing a lot lately has not necessarily been collecting toys, but rather fixing or modifying toys. And what I mean by fixing is both literal, in which certain toys have broken on me because of quality control issues, or fixing as in improving, modifying things. So one example is War Machine here, and this is the War Machine from the Walmart exclusive Iron Man 2 movie toys. This is the 6-inch War Machine toy. Great toy overall, but the one nagging problem I've always had with it is the lackluster ankle joint design. And what I mean by that, I'll show you here. This is the normal ankle. It's not been modified or altered at all. As you can see, the movement is very much restricted. Can't really do much. It looks great, but it can't do anything. Now I've modified this ankle here to allow a greater range of motion and movement. And it can also, unlike the default ankle design, actually do a pivot. And it's a pretty simple modification. It does require some sort of rotary tool or perhaps a pin vise to hold on to some sort of drilling bit for you. But all I did was, and I'll use the Iron Man foot that I've taken off because I'm getting ready to modify that ankle joint. As you can see, it's a stem ball joint, and the ball is at the top and inserts into the lower leg into a socket. I don't know if you can make that out there. And now the problem with this design is that inherently this kind of a joint design where the movement is above the ankle a bit doesn't offer a lot of articulation range. And in addition to that, the design of the Iron Man armor as well as the War Machine armor has ankle armor plating, which further hinders articulation, making it problematic. But once again, with the War Machine modification, it can move a lot more. And in addition to the Dremel or another type of drilling or rotary tool, essentially, you do need a double ball joint stem, such as this one here. And this is a product made by Yellow Submarine. Often this is used for model kits, but can also be used, as you can see, for action figures for toys. And with those two things, you basically remove the stem, remove the ball from the stem, hollow out the ball, and then hollow out a socket in the foot itself, and you replace it with one of these double ball joint stems. And the reason why I hollow out the ball at the top here is that it then can fit into the socket in the lower leg of War Machine or Iron Man. And then again, it results in a very, very good ankle joint. It does not compromise the visual appearance of it, but then it enhances articulation like so many times over. And I'm very pleased with that modification. In addition to that, I'm also working on modifying my DC Collectibles toys. Again, the ankle joint design is not that great. It has a peg that is inserted into the foot. And the problem with the foot is that the hinge joint is fine, but the pseudo rocker pivot motion is not so much a pivot on an angle like you would see in a normal pivot for an ankle joint, but rather it's more of a horizontal, like sort of swivel. So it's very, very limited in its usefulness for helping the toy be posed in wider leg stances. So what I've done with the Bizarro foot is that the normal hole for the peg is straight down into the foot. I've added a secondary insertion point at an angle that should allow the foot to actually, rather than turn like this, it'll actually pivot like this. If that makes any sense. And hopefully that'll work out well too. Aside from that, I've also gotten some other higher end products. One I returned, which is the Arcadia YF-19 toy in the 1/60th scale range. It's something that didn't meet my expectations at all, and I was quite dissatisfied with what it brought to the table. The toy itself is not terrible by any means. In fact, it's based upon Yamato's probably one of their greatest designs before they went out of business. But unfortunately, the YF-19 that Arcadia brought to production was not all that I thought it should have been, and so I returned it. If anybody's curious about my thoughts on the YF-19 toy, just let me know in the comment section, and I'll do my best to upload a video in the near future further detailing my thoughts on that particular product. It'll essentially be a video that is part review and part overview of the Arcadia YF-19. Something else I've gotten recently is my second 1/6 scale action figure, action doll product. This is the Sideshow Collectibles Storm Shadow. The costume design is based off of the version 2 Storm Shadow, which is a really cool looking toy. Kind of looks goofy because it came out in the late 80s and went away from the traditional ninja type of aesthetic and moved more into a sort of weird winter camouflage deal, but it's a fan favorite for anybody who's into G.I. Joe, and most fans of Storm Shadow do really like the version 2 Storm Shadow toy design. Now, some people have criticized this toy because while it's inspired by the version 2 design, it's not completely accurate to it, and so that has put off quite a few people. I can understand where they're coming from, but at the same time, the version 2 toy is the version 2 toy. Nothing's ever going to get rid of it, and so I do appreciate the artistic license that Sideshow Collectors, or Collectibles rather, has used for designing their Storm Shadow figure. Aside from that, that's pretty much it. I mean, aside from the DC Collectibles toys I've gotten that you can see in the background, not much else has happened recently in my collecting. As I said, I've been focusing more recently on customizing, modifying, and fixing various toys I have already. And I think that's about it. I'm not sure when my next video will be. It really comes down to the time and energy I have to put aside for YouTube, as well as just things that get me inspired to do something. So if I acquire a toy that really makes me want to review it, then I'll do it. Or if I have a topic that comes to mind that I want to sort of discuss with all of you and get a discussion going, I'll make a video of it. But right now, I'm just sort of focusing on some private time handiwork, I guess, on toys. Now, if any of you out there have something that you're curious about that you want to have reviewed, or if you have a topic discussion suggestion, let me know. Just put it in the comment section. I always read all of my comments in the videos that I put up, and I will do my best to take your suggestions and run with them and do something with them. As always, thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you at the next video.